Podcast City Network.
Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to another awesome episode of Urban Nerd Week. Today is Friday, November the 13th, and it's episode 3 of season 7. Thanks for tuning in and nerding out with us today, you guys. On today's Nerd News Update, King Von was murdered recently in the city of Atlanta. The PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox have recently dropped this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about the rappers like Lil Wayne and Lil Pump supporting Donald Trump. Not to mention, Fortnite got an upcoming collaboration with Disney Plus that we're going to talk about. Find out about all that and more. So tune in, nerd out, for today's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly.
Urban Nerd. Urban Nerd. Urban Nerd.
Alright, what's happening once again, you guys? Welcome to another installation of Urban Nerd Weekly. This is the third episode of season 7, man. So glad you guys decided to tune in and nerd out with us, man. As we creep, I don't even know what the hell creep is. As we creep closer into the holiday season, we're getting closer and closer to Turkey Day and Christmas and of course the end of the holiday trifecta, New Year's Day, which is pretty much the entire width of the season 7 of Urban Nerd Weekly. So I hope you guys plan on rocking all the way out with us during the holiday season, man, because we fixing to be super nerdy for the end of 2020, because damn, it's some crazy shit been going on this year. So, you know, of course, I'm sure you guys have seen that, Joe Biden, they had to do like a recount or some shit like that for Georgia, but I'm sure you know by now Joe Biden has, officially, won Georgia. And so, you know, one more step closer as the projected winner of the 2020 presidential election. To all those who are following, we don't like really talk about political opinion as far as candidates go much on the show. I mean, you know, some things are just kind of clear cut. I think universally, even people who have historically voted Republican aren't quite happy with the orange boy in the White House and whatnot. So, but we do like to keep folks informed of what's going on or whatever. And, you know, I really didn't even want to spend the rest of the episode talking about, you know, the election and all that stuff. We talked about it mostly on the last episode. I mean, what more is there to say? Joe Biden's projected winner. Donald Trump doesn't want to concede the office. And, like exactly as it is the only thing that was probably predictable about 2020 was that he was probably going to lose the election and that he wasn't going to want to accept the fact that he lost the fucking election. So yeah, that's all on that bullshit right there, man. But, like I said, big shouts out to, Podcast City Network. I know y'all heard the drop at the beginning. Make sure y'all hit up podcastcity.net and check out the shop section on there. Urban Nerd Weekly just got some brand new merch added along to the other wonderful shows merchandise on Podcast City Network. So head on over there, man. Podcast City Network. Actually, it's podcastcity.net/shop. That's the whole URL. So if you want to get you a t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug or a book bag, I ain't got a fancy book bag, but I got a book bag on there if y'all want to support the movement. Really nice merch too. Me and you know, some of the other podcast hosts on the network were definitely checking it out. Looking at it, we've already got a few orders in, so we got a couple of people that are actually wearing some Podcast City Network merch, kind of showing how it all looks and everything like that. So if you want to check that out, you can definitely head on over to facebook.com/Podcast City Network and the Facebook page for Podcast City Network, and check out all the pictures of, you know, the folks that have thus far ordered some product off of podcastcity.net /shop once again. And it was some more stuff on there too. It was actually some pretty cool shit. But you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have some more pictures of that actually up on the Urban Nerd Weekly Facebook page. If you guys don't have time to mosey on over. I mean, it's only a click of a button, but whatever. You know, the internet's all about convenience and such. But make sure you check that out if you haven't, man. I appreciate, we at Podcast City Network appreciate those who have purchased thus far. And, in future tense, we will appreciate anyone who feels like supporting Podcast City Network and any of its shows, including Urban Nerd Weekly. But yeah, man, so that's pretty much all the little show updates we got, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Podcast City Network, Chris Carnage Show, Final Score, Everett Lee's on hiatus, but make sure you guys check out the last episode until his new episode, which is featuring your boy Space on there. We talked about a lot of crazy, awesome shit, so if you haven't got a chance to check that out, make sure you do so. Make sure you guys check out my buddy Bobby D over at Letting It Be for whomitmay.com. Also, lots of great podcasts and you know, my little clique of friends. You know, if you guys make sure you stay abreast with the movement, you can always check out all the other friends of the show's content. We give them a much more larger shout out for everybody at the end of the show, so make sure you guys stick around to check out, you know, mentions of everybody. We're trying to get in the better habit of like actually putting everybody's links up in the description and stuff. It's just, oh man, I'd be so excited to get the episode up. Once I put the description in, I'm just like ready to fling it into the internet. But I'm gonna get better at putting up the links and stuff, because I know sometimes folks be asking me like, oh, you said, you know, because you say the links in the episode, but it's different when you can click them in the description. It's a lot easier, especially when you're on the platform that allow you to do it, like SoundCloud or, you know, Apple Music, I think lets you do it, you know. So, you know, I try to be a better host for you guys. But yeah, make sure you guys follow me on social media if you haven't already, as well as the show, Urban Nerd Weekly, at Urban Nerd Weekly on all three of the major platforms, that being Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Once again, at Urban Nerd Weekly. You can find me myself personally at Space Was Here, at SPAYCEWUZHERE. Also on the big three, that being Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can't forget the girl Nano Kitty Cat. You can catch her at Nano_Kitty_Cat on both Instagram as well as Twitter. And on Facebook, y'all can catch her at Nano Kitty Cat Nano. No spaces except me. That shit is so not funny, but I say it every like fourth episode because it gets new to me again, and I don't know. Like, it's one of the jokes. It don't get old. It's not even funny. It's not even funny to me. It just feels clever to say it. It's a difficult feeling to express and put into words. I really don't know what to tell you guys. But like I said, you can follow us all on social media, and make sure you like, rate, and review / comment on the show. Let us know any and everything you got on your mind, and you know, especially when it comes to stuff we talk about on the episode. It's always awesome when we have feedback from people who listen to the show, because it lets us kind of know what to lean more into when we have discussions on the show, especially on the episodes where Kitty's here and I'm not just talking to you guys via talking to myself for a couple of hours and then whittling it down to an hour's worth of shit. So y'all don't even know how crazy I really sound before I give y'all the episode. Like, even with the bare minimum edits I do to Urban Nerd Weekly, y'all still don't realize how much of the crazy I cut out of each and every episode. But thanks for indulging in my insanity for the last almost 3 years, guys. Believe it or not, it's 2020. And the anniversary of Urban Nerd Weekly is creeping upon us in December. So that's another thing we're going to be celebrating this year, is the 3-year anniversary of Urban Nerd Weekly. I actually had wanted to celebrate getting 100 episodes, but that was 12 episodes ago. I didn't even get to mention it because there was so much going on with the show. But we are past 100 episodes of Urban Nerd Weekly for all those that are excited about that at all. I know I definitely am. This is the longest running, continuing series of content that I've ever produced. on a consistent basis is Urban Nerd Weekly. So it's one of my more tended to babies. Like if I was like a herbologist, or what do they call it? If I was a botanist, I don't know why I said herbologist. That's probably a thing too, though, right? I'm gonna look that up. Anyway, if I was a botanist, Urban Nerd Weekly would be my bonsai tree. It's the one I just kind of hover around all day, just to relax, and a clip and a trim. You know, just rake all the sand around a cool ass circle because it makes me feel tranquil inside. But yeah, man, so shouts out to everybody that's been tuning in and nerding out with me and the gang as well for the last 7 seasons, going on 8. We're gonna start the new season next year, new season, all that cool stuff. Y'all know how we do it, man. But yeah, I'm for one, I'm excited about all the new stuff coming on Urban Nerd Weekly, as well as because we actually got some new people joining the gang. Like, oh my god, I can't wait to show y'all. Like, the show is just growing and progressing in ways that I just did not expect at all, and now it's all kind of coming to fruition. We got like a whole ass like blog coming soon. We're gonna have our own little. We're gonna expand what we got going on Podcast City Network. We're gonna be going live every episode next season. So like this season, you know, we started we tried to start with a live episode. It got crazy. Technical issues and difficulties was a real biggity bitch. But we're gonna end off this season as well with a live episode, and this time it's gonna go correctly. Big shit popping in the works for Urban Nerd Weekly as well as Podcast City Network. But yeah, man, I'm rambling. Let's just go ahead and get into today's episode, and we're gonna start off with today's digital download for the week. In the music section of today's digital download, we got Salim Remy with Black on Purpose, which dropped on November the 10th. On November the 13th, we got 2 Chainz with So Help Me God, ASAP Rock with Spirit World Field Guide, Jack Boy with Loving in History, the Deluxe Edition, and Goody Mob with Survival Kit. In the movies section of today's digital download, which I just realized today's Friday the 13th, or did I already know that? I think I just realized it. It's Friday the 13th. And of course, they're coming out with a movie called Freaky on Freaky Friday. We also got Ammonite, The Climb, Come Away, Dirty God, Dreamland, Fat Man, Fireball, Visitors from Darker Worlds, available exclusively on Apple TV+. I Am Greta on Hulu. Jingle Jangle on Netflix. I actually checked that out. That shit's awesome. We got Mank, also Monsoon, The Ride, available exclusively on Amazon, and Wolfwalkers. In the book section of today's digital download, we got Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. We also have, oh boy, sorry. We also have Girls of Brackenhill by Kate Moretti. And last but not least, we have Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellafleur. Bellafleur. I think it's Bellafleur. I'm pretty sure they said. I don't like butchering people's names. I told y'all how I be feeling about people fucking up my name. Oh yeah, we got one more. We got the Star-Crossed Sisters by Tuscany by Lori Nelson Spielman. I like her last name because I could pronounce it without fucking it up. And last but not least, we saved the video games for last on today's digital download because, as you guys know, the PS5 and the Xbox S/S dropped on the 10th. So of course, a bunch of titles dropped on the same day. So get your ear holes ready because here we go, all of the new PS5 and Xbox X releases. Alright, first up we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, available on Xbox X and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Stadia and PEC. That was a lot of ands. Alright, just know it was on all those shits. We got Borderlands 3 on Xbox X, and all these titles, unless otherwise noted, just assume it's November the 10th. Destiny 2 Beyond Light, available on Xbox X, PS4, and Xbox One. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Xbox X, and Dirt 5 Xbox X. Enlisted Xbox X, Evergates, and Fortnite, also available on Xbox X. Forza Horizon 4, Xbox X. Fuser, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and PC. We got Gears 5 available on Xbox X, Gear Tactics, Xbox X and Xbox One, Ghost Runner, Grounded. Ghost Runner was on Switch, by the way, my bad. Grounded, Xbox X. King Oddball, Xbox X. Liftoff Drone Racing, available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Maneater, Xbox X. Manifold Garden, available on Xbox X as well. NBA 2K1, NBA 2K21. I don't know why I said NBA 2K1. That was a long time ago. NBA 2K21 Next Gen, both on Xbox X, available on November the 10th, like I said. No Man's Sky, Xbox X. Observer System Redux, available on Xbox X and PC. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Xbox Series X. I said series. I told y'all I was just gonna say Xbox X, and I just felt like saying it correctly. Overcooked, All You Can Eat, Xbox X. Planet Coaster Console Edition, available on Xbox X, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, available on PS4, Switch, and PC. We got Sea of Thieves coming on Xbox X. We also have Tetris Effect Connected, available on Xbox X and Xbox One, as well as PC. The Falconeer, available on Xbox X, Xbox One, and PC. Warhammer Chaos Bane, Xbox X. Watch Dogs Legion, Xbox X. WRC, Xbox X. And of course, the consoles themselves, the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, which, of course, and we also got XII, is that, what is that, 9? What the fuck is that shit? I ain't never heard of that game before, I'm so sorry. But it'll be available on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. We also have Yakuza, Like a Dragon, Xbox X, PS4, and Xbox One. Yes, Your Grace, available on Xbox X. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, available on PlayStation 5. Alright, so that's where I got my dates fucked up, because I don't think the PS5 hit to the 12th, but the Xbox dropped on the 10th. That's why it was so many dates with just them shits on it. And now, the shit real niggas been waiting for. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, PS5. And all the rest of this is November 12th. Astro's Playroom, PS5. Borderlands 3, PS5. Bug Snacks. Bug Snack? I don't know. PS5, PS4, and PC. Dead by Daylight on PS5. Demon Souls, available on PlayStation 5. Destiny's 2 Beyond Light. Devil May Cry 5. Dirt 5. Esports Life Tycoon, available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Fortnite will be available on PlayStation 5 on the 12th. We got Ganesh Impact for PS5, Godfall for PS5 and PC. Just Dance 2021, available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia. King Oddball, available on PS5. Maneater, PS5. Marvel Spider-Man, bitch. PS5, motherfucker. Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, same day. PS5, PlayStation 4. That's right. They dropped a white and a black Spider-Man on the same day. Because they know about equality over there at Sony, I think. And Miles Morales will be on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 on that day. NBA 2K21, available on PlayStation 5 on the 12th. As well as the next generation version. We got No Man's Sky, also available on PS5 that day. We got Observer System Redux for the PS5. Overcooked All You Can Eat once again, but this time on PS5. Planet Coaster Console Edition, PS5. And of course, the special edition of the PlayStation 5 also drops along with it that day. I don't know why they put that in. They should have put that shit. Anyway, this is why I ain't even tell y'all what website I got it from. But most of the time, I get most of the digital download from like 2 or 3 websites for each section. So I don't really like feeling need to, like, y'all can of course always find like where I got it from if you just, look in the comments on the SoundCloud page or whatever. I cite all the stuff. And if I don't, then just call me on bullshit. You know what I mean? Sackboy, A Big Adventure, available on PlayStation 5 and 4 that day. That just sound like some hood shit. I ain't never heard of that game before, but that just sound like some hood ass shit. The Pathless, available on PlayStation 5, 4, and PC, as well as iOS. Warhammer Chaos Bane will be available on PS5 on the 12th. Watch Dogs Legion, on PS5, WRC9 on the PS5 that day. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox X, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on the 13th. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, also on November the 13th. And that is all we have for today's digital download. We're gonna nerd dive right on into today's nerd news update. Now, first up on the docket, we gotta talk about the guy, the king. Yes, King Von, man. Like, if you never heard of him before, he's a Chicago-based hip-hop artist that kind of rose to prominence a little bit after the whole drill scene kind of popped up in, the whole Chicago area. The whole little scene started by, Chief Keef on, like, a lot of the rappers subsequently popped up from that wellspring of talent. Notable rappers also like Lil Durk, who King Von was actually signed to. He was signed to Lil Durk's label. So, what I'm saying? It was a bunch of Chicago artists banding together. What I'm saying? And he was one of the folks that was helping maintain and keep the drill scene moving. And now that, what I'm saying, a couple of waves have passed, he was still very, very relevant. Well, unfortunately, recently on November the 6th, my man King Von was murdered here in Atlanta. It's very, very terrible, very, very terrible thing going on. According to a lot of news sources, he was involved in an altercation in a nightclub here around like 3:20 a.m. between two groups of men, and one of them associated was rapper Quando Rondo. If you don't know who that is, he's a local Atlanta rapper that's kind of been around for a minute. He had a couple of cool little songs here and there, and kind of got known for dating Mulatto, Miss Mulatto a little bit, couple years ago, whatever. The dispute quickly resulted in a shootout, which two police officers attempted to break up with additional gunfire. Bennett was subsequently transported to a hospital in critical condition and died later on that day at the age of 26 years old. He actually just turned 26 not too long ago. I just found out his birthday is 3 days after mine, August the 9th. So that really sucks donkey dick, man. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation initially reported that 3 people were killed, but an Atlanta police spokesperson said that only 2 of them died. 4 people were wounded, and one of them was placed in police custody for the murder of King Von. The suspect was identified as Timothy Leaks, age 22. So sad, very sad story. So rest in peace to the guy King Von, man. It was crazy too, cause what I'm saying, he was like one of them real storytelling rappers. Like, what I'm saying, he was the type of person you can listen to. What I'm saying, whenever you wanted to like hear like some real like street tales, like it was almost on some new wave like Slick Rick shit, but without as much like kind of like sing-songy type shit. I don't know. It's hard to describe when, you're trying to describe it to people who don't get all the vibes of the music or whatever. But, rest in peace to King Von, man. Big shouts out to his family and the musical legacy he'll leave behind. And hopefully, one day, a day will come where every other week, Urban Nerd Weekly, we don't have to say rest in peace to somebody. God damn, 2020 been just eating our ass up, boy, I swear. But moving right along to our next story on today's Nerd News Update, there have been, even though it doesn't matter anymore, a good bit of rappers had been cited for supporting Donald Trump, or at least seemingly. You know what I mean? Like, I know a good couple of rappers that just didn't want to vote for Joe Biden. Like, I know 50 Cent, they kind of didn't want to vote for Joe Biden because of the whole tax plan thing and shit. And he, for a minute, was about to support and endorse Donald Trump. And he was like, man, that shit looks crazy. And, but most notably, rappers like Lil Pump and Lil Wayne have, like, publicly heavily endorsed Donald Trump, like, on Twitter and the media. This Lil Wayne took a picture in a fucking sweater next to Donald Trump. Like, that shit is crazy, bruh. Like, I just don't understand how this is happening. Now people like 50 Cent are also noting, and then this is also coming a few weeks after rapper Ice Cube met with Donald Trump to discuss something called the Platinum Plan that was supposed to be in benefit of the black community as far as, you know, how the White House and the government is supposed to be, you know, planning for handling black issues or whatever kind of bullshit it's supposed to be selling. Either way, a lot of people had backlash for that shit. And now people are like, cause like with Lil Pump, I ain't that surprised. He look like a future fucking Republican. He looks like he probably has Republican ass parents, and Lil Pump is the part of his life where he's rebelling against them. He'll probably grow up, wear a fucking power suit, and fucking be voting fucking Republican his whole life anyway. I'm not even kind of surprised at Lil Pump. He look like he'll grow up to be a Trump fucking supporter. But Lil Wayne, I'm a little bit surprised. But then when people like 50 Cent say shit like, "Oh, I heavily believe that these gentlemen were paid to support Donald Trump," because 50 said he got offered $1 million to you know, get up there and take the picture and all that. So he figured Wayne probably at least got offered $1 million to do the shit, and Wayne probably took the money. You know what I'm saying? But that shit crazy though, man. Like, it just, like, it's so funny to see people like Wayne, like, just fucking shaking the president's hand, and fucking Kanye is like cool with Donald Trump. Like, bitch, you the same motherfucker that couldn't even help raise money for Hurricane Katrina without telling the world that George Bush don't give a fuck about black people. But you gonna like, you fucking dyed your hair blonde, you gonna start dapping up Donald Trump like that shit's cool. That's fucking retarded, bitch. I don't really understand. You know, I'm just 30. I'm a young nigga. I don't know how the world really work, but I know when shit don't make sense. I know that much for damn sure. And that right there is a damn shame. But yeah, so like Lil Pump, Lil Wayne, and there's a couple of other rappers that had said something in the line of being in support, but it was just like, I mean, and more so, it's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that just don't like Biden's tax plan because they think that, you know what I'm saying, because with Biden's tax plan, you know, without getting too deep into shit, they just feel like they're gonna end up paying more money in taxes. And as we all know, rich people are trying to pay the least fucking amount of tax money they possibly can. And somebody like Donald Trump, like on some nigga shit, you could kind of get it. Like, I do get why somebody who just got like outed for only having paid $750 in taxes at any point in their life, considering how much money they brag and boast and claim to be making in business deals and in shit of the like. You wouldn't think that $750 is what the fuck they paying in taxes. So on some nigga shit, I could see rappers being like, "Oh, this nigga done paid $750 in taxes and he ain't going to jail for tax evasion. Oh, fuck, I might need to find out how he did that shit." Because, I mean, that is the one thing they get most artists on. Rappers, R&B singers, like blues niggas from back in the day and shit. They always used to fuck niggas up on tax evasion. So on some nigga shit, I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna act naive like I'm not a grown person who wants to, like, I'm not a grown person that's interested in cheating the government out of my money. Of course I am. Every grown adult in America is interested in making sure they cheat the government out of their own fucking money, because we don't feel like we should have to pay y'all for our fucking money. We don't even like doing that with the bank, let alone having to pay taxes and then leaving it up to y'all to fucking give us the over. Hell no. So on that end, you know, I can kind of understand that shit, but it's Donald Trump, bro. Like, like, he's got cooties, bro. Like, you can't be associated. Like, the level of repulsiveness is huge. And that was the best Donald Trump impression I could do at this moment. Thank you very much. This impression was presented to you by Juvenile Advisory Entertainment and Urban Nerd Weekly. Oh, man. Before we continue with today's nerd news update and I jump into the bigger story of today, I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the sponsors of Urban Nerd Weekly, man. Big shouts out to 25-8 The Gate, your next favorite online radio station. Big shouts out to Marketing the Pie, one of the marketing and digital management firms that has helped out Urban Nerd Weekly in its early days. And I definitely, if you guys want to expand your brand, I definitely recommend you check out Marketing the Pie. Huge fucking shouts out to Podcast City Network. Yeah, man, big shouts out to Chris Carnage, Everett Lee, all of the shows on Podcast City Network. Huge deal we got going on, man. We just got merch up on the podcastcity.net store, so make sure y'all check that out, man. Especially all the Urban Nerd Weekly stuff, man. We got t-shirts, we got long sleeve shirts, we got short sleeve shirts, we got hoodies, we got backpacks, we got mugs and shit, and we got masks, nigga. We got them, you know, them Naruto masks you can wear on your neck and then you pull up over your face. If you want them kids that like to run real weird in the hallways and shit, put on the Urban Nerd Weekly mask so they can know, like, okay, he a nerd, but, you know, he fuck with the Urban Nerd Weekly shit, so he is kind of cool. Or maybe it'll go that way. I don't know. Once you buy one and try, just head on over to podcastcity.net/shop, and you can check out all of our merch as well as all the merch available from all the amazing shows on Podcast City Network, man. Big shouts out to those guys. Also, shouts out to my guy, Hitman the Hitmaker, my buddy Cool Cutlass, and the homie Damo, man. Three of my favorite rappers in the city. I always like to give these guys shouts out, man. These guys work really hard and make some really good quality music. So, you know what I'm saying? If you ever check those guys out, especially Cool Cutlass, we had him on the season opener, as well as we did an interview with him in the middle of last season. So if you haven't got a chance to check that out, make sure you do so. Can't forget about Sweet K's Cakery, man. When it comes to cakes, cupcakes, cake pops, fucking cookies, pies, all that shit, man. Anything your sweet tooth desire, man, make sure y'all hit up Sweet K's Cakery. Especially if you got like an event, like a birthday party or a gender reveal or a baby shower or something like that. They got them motherfucking prices for the low, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit them up. Y'all want a transformer cake for your little man, or, you know what I'm saying, you want to cut a cake with some blue or pink shit on the inside for a gender reveal, or maybe somebody close to you got a promotion and you want to get them some cupcakes for every day of the month to remind them how awesome they are and how hard they worked to get that promotion. Holla at Sweet K's Cakery, man. They got that package for you, and trust me, every bite will be worth it. They did my birthday cake, and I'm still tasting how sweet that shit was. And that was in August. Another big shouts out to Creative Customs, man. When it comes to shirt draws, socks, bras, and all, holla at Creative Customs to customize it all, man. I'm talking about they could customize literally anything. Like, you could take designer shit, like big name designer shit, and if you want your name and like the same font and stitching and all that as the Gucci on your Gucci shit, you could have that, bro. You could literally have whatever you like when it comes to what you could get for Creative Customs, man. Like, literally everything. They even got rolling trays now. Everything. Just go over there. Creative Customs. Creative with a K _ customs with a K at on Instagram. At Instagram at Creative _ customs with K's instead of C's. Check that shit out immediately. Last but not least, love to shout out Project South and the Black Belt Radio Network, a community outreach program that Nano Kitty Cat and I connected with earlier this year. So many outreach programs were supposed to be had, community events were supposed to be happening, and then that bitch Rona reared her ugly, nasty ass head up in this motherfucker and just fucked up the whole game. But big shouts out to Project South. We will be still working with them. We're going to be coming up with some digital outreach programs for the kids. And hopefully next year, you know, this whole Rona thing will be a thing of the past. And we could continue with the original mission that we had out with them. But I just want to give them a big shout out because they are a great program. And if you have not had the chance, please at least Google them. You know what I'm saying? Like, Project South is a movement building organization that was founded in 1986 to strengthen community organizing and develop accessible political education and build people-centered infrastructure in the United States South. Like, right here in Atlanta, it cultivates a productive space for social movement leaders, organizations, and collaborations to build people power from the bottom up. Our work is informed by historical legacy and root cause analysis of our social and economic conditions. Project South recognizes the powerful role of media and communication in educating and activating our communities to work for racial, economic, and social justice, and remains committed to developing movement-driven communications infrastructure in the entire region. Now, if that wordy ass mission statement don't let you know just how much thought they put into what they trying to do for the black community, I don't know what will. And before we get on to our last story in today's Nerd News Update, big shouts out to my guy Von Roberts out there in Cali killing shit, man. His comedies, his YouTube specials, I left the car seat out for you, and damn, I'm a terrible friend. I forgot the name of the other special. But y'all know, y'all can go scroll back into the other episodes of Urban Nerd Week. I just shouted that shit out like 1,000 times. Just make sure y'all fuck with my guy, Von Roberts, man. Funny as hell. Been dropping skits like every other day for the last couple of months, man. Guy's been on fire. So make sure y'all check him out and get your laugh on. If you haven't yet, you is sorely missing out. But back to today's Nerd News Update. The last story is, of course, and I saved it for last because it's also slick, today's topic of the day. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox X / Xbox Series S. So as we mentioned earlier, on a couple of days ago on the 10th, the Xbox X was released, right? And then actually yesterday, PS5 was released on the 12th. So, as of right now, the newest gaming console systems are out. Of course, strategically planned right before motherfucking Christmas. And, yeah, people are already losing their minds. Like, I was already online seeing, like, memes and shit of people fucking having, like, cause, you know, with PlayStation 5, especially they were basically already sold out before they even hit the shelves. Like, pre-orders was through the roof. It's some people willing to pay $1,000 to have one right now, just because they don't want to have to wait for it if they want to pay regular price. Like, that shit is insane. And I'm telling you, man, I've been seeing nothing but, like, first of all, y'all already know, with me being Team PlayStation, I'm looking at to see, you know what I'm saying, what that PS5 like. That shit look cool as fuck, man. Lots and lots of, like, influencers and celebrities and the like are starting to show off the fact that they got the console. Your boy, Soulja Boy got the X, of course, on day they came out. He had the Xbox and the new PS5. And he's actually, like, slick legendary in the online gamer scene, too. Like, if anybody ever remembers the SOD, Gamer League he had going on, I was gonna say a couple of years ago, but that was about 10 years ago. Shit, the dude was really ahead of his time. He had, like, records out in the Gamer League. Like, nobody was doing that shit back then. But yeah, so since the games have now been released, and of course a full load of titles have been released on all on both consoles, and not to mention, I just found out that the Xbox X is we know the Xbox is completely reverse compatible. I think the PlayStation, there are some games on the PS5 that's retro compatible, but, like, we're gonna get into that more in a second. So, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people trying to figure out, like, cause I'm Team PlayStation, so I already know it's better than Xbox. But, like, at this point, there are already reports coming out about how the PlayStation 5 is outperforming, the Xbox X. And the reason is that Sony has an advantage. The PS5 could push through data at 5.5 gigabytes per second compared to the Xbox X, which works at 2.4 2.4 gigabytes per second, which does give the PlayStation 5 a faster loading time and less time spent loading the screen, so that way it basically just processes faster. Which, I mean, come on, that's pretty. I mean, outside of that, they evenly match, but that's a pretty big deal. Like, first of all, that's twice the speed at which, you know what I'm saying, they pushing their data through. But anyway, I'm biased, so of course I'm like, yeah, of course that makes sense, bitch. It's better. As of right now, the average cost of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X is about $500 American dollars. Which is about what they usually cost when they first come out. I'm sure if you know, plus tax, they probably a nice smooth $600, but it's some folks out here, like I told y'all, man, they trying to pay a band for this bitch just to get the new shit. And then some people are like trading their shit. It's crazy, man. Like, and here's an article actually by TheVerge.com. I'm gonna try to hit up The Verge. I like their website. They be having good shit going on. So why is the PlayStation 5 outperforming the world's most powerful console, quote unquote, which is bullshit to me? Early game comparisons of how the PS5 outperforming the Xbox Series X by Tom Warren on TheVerge.com. Microsoft has been proudly discussing how powerful its Xbox Series X console is for months now. There have been deep dives in the tech side promising it's the world's most powerful console. It even news that the company waited on a specific AMD technology to give it a mysterious edge over the PlayStation 5. On paper, the Xbox X looks more powerful than the PlayStation 5. But in practice, early game tests showed that PS5 outperformed Microsoft console by a landslide. I added in by a landslide. Digital Foundry has been analyzing a number of new games across both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and the results are surprising. With the Xbox Series X capable of 12 teraflops of GPU performance versus 10.28 teraflops on the PS5, most onlookers expect that there will be a small gap between the consoles. Microsoft's next-gen Xbox also has higher levels of memory bandwidth and more compute units. But Sony offers developers less compute units running at a variable and higher clock rate to extract better performance out of the PlayStation 5. While the Xbox X takes a slight lead in the 4K and ray tracing performance modes on Devil May Cry 5, which I'm gonna let them have that. Because Microsoft and, you know, the Xbox, I will let them have that. Microsoft kind of has always been ahead in the graphics department. Like, I ain't gonna lie, because, like, you could play NBA 2K on the PlayStation and then play that shit on Xbox. Like, it's a slick ass difference. Not to mention, but I mean, I've said this before, PlayStation games are more fun to play and Xbox games are more fun to look at. The high frame rate mode runs noticeably better on the PlayStation 5, with frame rate gaps between the two systems at more than 40 frames per second in some scenes. The dips look really strange to me, and it kind of suggests to me that some kind of API limitation on the Xbox side where the GPU is being held back by something, suggests Digital Foundry editor Richard Ledbetter. These dips matter because sudden drops mean a more obvious judder or stutter for players. Variable refresh rate displays can help smooth this out, but if the dips are significant, then you will still feel the changes in frame rates either way. And then, you know, the article talks on about Devil May Cry 5 a little bit. I think they're using that to kind of compare, because it's the first one of the first games on both consoles to come out. And by that I mean it's on both consoles. I think matter of fact, I did the digital download earlier this episode. I'm pretty sure that was the only title that came out like the same day, right? Devil May Cry 5. But yeah, man, so the price point, not too bad, even though, of course, how the economy works, you know what I'm saying, you'll definitely be paying more than 500 smackaroonies for that bitch. According to CNET.com, because now I'm jumping back to the whole reverse compatibility thing, because that's a really big deal for me, is the whole reverse compatibility. Like, I need to know that all the old games, especially when you're a legacy player and you've had, like, let's say like me, where you had a PlayStation 1, then you got a PlayStation 2, and then like you skipped a couple, and then you had some games for the PS3, but you didn't like have the PS3, and so now you're trying to jump back in the game with PS5. I want to know my motherfucking Tekken from PlayStation 2 still work on that bitch. I'm sorry, but I'm that old. Anyway, so according According to CNET.com, according to CNET.com, PS5 and Xbox Series X backward compatibility. Everything we need to know about the consoles. Sony and Microsoft let you play old games on their new consoles, although there are limits. Also, here's how to transfer saves from your old console. That's really important. And this is an article by Sean King. Playing your old games on the next generation console is a huge deal at launch. When there aren't many new titles to justify the hundreds of dollars you spent on a shiny new machine. That is very, very true. Most of the time, like, it's not like how today or this week there's a ton of titles that launched on that shit. Most of the time, back in the day and shit, when the game came out, you might be lucky if it had like 3 games to go on the console, because most of the time they didn't know if the console was going to sell, so nobody wanted to make a bunch of games for it, and then nobody bought a console. So now, you know what I'm saying, with the whole digital era, you can stream the game or whatever. It's different. But yeah, so Sony and Microsoft knew this as they launched their PlayStation 5 and Xbox X this week, having talked up their consoles' backward compatibility features, which we went over in like the beginning of season 6, way before 2020 turned into the shitstorm it is about the whole reverse compatibility argument. The two companies have been battling other console makers for decades, Sony since 1994 and Microsoft since 2001. So they've built up a magnificent back catalog filled with some classics. Let's take a look at how much of each of these libraries you'll be able to play on the new consoles and how you'll be able to transfer your saves. On the PlayStation 5, which starts at about $400, which is, y'all know that's bullshit, which came out yesterday, or next week if you're in the UK, was designed with PlayStation 4 games in mind. PlayStation boss Jim Ryan told CNET in June. PlayStation 4 titles get even better on PlayStation 5. Select PS4 titles will see increased loading speeds on the PS5 console and will also leverage game boosts, offering improved or more stable frame rates. The company said in October 9th blog post, some titles will unlock frame rates or dynamic resolution up to 4K may see higher fidelity. Ghost of Tsushima developed Sucker Punch gave us a sense of how game boosts work. Once enabled, you will see an extra option to allow frame rates up to 60 frames per second. In the 2018 God of War selected the favorite performance video option will let the game run at a similar frame rate. The company also released a short list of PlayStation 4 games that won't be playable on the PlayStation 5. And some of those titles include Afro Samurai 2, Revenge of Kuma, Shadow Complex Remastered, We Sing, Just Deal With It, Hitman Go Definitive Edition, Shouden, Joe's Dinner. It's noted that these games will carry a playable on PlayStation 4 only warning on the PlayStation Store, so you don't download them by accident. So they're gonna let you know in the store, like in the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store, whether or not the game is actually gonna be compatible, so you don't pay for the shit and then download it and then not have the ability to play the game. On October the 30th, Ubisoft released a separate list of PlayStation 4 games that work on the PlayStation 5. The most prominent was 2015's Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It later pulled their blog post, telling IGN it may have included inaccuracies involving the Ubisoft titles that would be playable on PlayStation 5. Since the status of those games remains unclear, we won't include the full list here. So what the fuck, CNET? Why did y'all even mention the list? Retards. The switch from spinning hard drive to solid state storage will make them run faster than they did on the PlayStation 4, so you won't be staring into a loading screen abyss for quite as long. I timed how long Ghost of Tsushima took from booting up the gameplay on each system. My launch on the PS4 took 1 minute and 40 seconds. On the PlayStation 5, it took exactly 1 minute. If you subscribe to PlayStation Plus, Sony's $60 a year online service, you get a selection of PlayStation 4 games to play at no extra cost through the PlayStation Only 5 Plus collection from November the 12th. And here are some of the first party games. Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank. Oh, damn. So you can't, y'all know I love Ratchet and Clank, but it don't look like you're going to be able to play any of them on PS5. That's cool. That's cute. Okay. That's cute. The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and some third-party games are Batman, Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, the Zombies Chronicles Edition, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Damn, you ain't gonna be able to play Crash Bandicoot either? Fuck, bitch. Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, Royal Edition, Monster Hunt World, Mortal Kombat X. What? Persona 5, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. You can use your current DualShock 4 controller to play those PS4 games, but you'll have to use the new DualSense for PlayStation 5 games, and PlayStation 5 won't be backward compatible with PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 1 games. So, PlayStation 5 will only be backwards compatible for PlayStation 4 games and only some of those titles. Now, we did break that news to y'all earlier, but I was really hoping that shit was gonna change. I mean, personally, I don't get what's the big deal about making them reverse compatible, but maybe it just takes up too much hard drive space in order to have the software installed in order for it to do it. I'm not a game maker, so I don't really know. I asked some of my friends at school, though. I go to Full Sail now, so I can ask some of my game maker friends at school, like, what's the problem with that? Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to ask one of my friends at school the whole deal with reverse compatibility. We're going to do a whole ass... that's going to be the topic of the day for one of the episodes of Urban Nerd Weekly is, what the fuck is the deal with reverse compatibility? So now, we're going to talk about transferring saves. It is possible to continue your PlayStation 4 adventures on the new console, and Sony has confirmed a few methods of transferring your saves. You could transfer digital games, game data, and game saves from a PlayStation 4 console to a PS5 console, but you gotta use a landline cable or be connected to Wi-Fi, so they gotta be on the same Wi-Fi network. If you've already stored PlayStation 4 games and game data in the external USB storage device connected to your PlayStation 4, you can just bring them over to PlayStation 5 with that exact same external USB storage device. The company said that on October the 9th, in an October the 9th blog post, and if you are a PS Plus member, you can also sync PlayStation 4 games saved on PlayStation 5 through cloud storage. The cloud storage method is the simplest approach, but it's a little fiddly. You'll have to make sure the latest save is backed up to the cloud from your PlayStation 4 and manually download it to your PlayStation 5. Hopefully, a future update will make the PlayStation 5 automatically detect and download cloud saves once a game is installed. Oh, wow. I don't know why that was such a bit of a tongue twister. However, it warned that the ability to transfer game saves between the PS4 version and the PS5 version of the same game is down to the developer, and it will vary with cross-gen games. It's highly unlikely that any developer would decide not to give you the power to transfer. So far, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure are confirmed to have save features if you upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version. If you want to play those dusty old original PlayStation, PS2, or PS3 discs, you're out of luck. Sony moved away from backward compatibility after the initial batch of PlayStation 3s, and PlayStation 4 couldn't play any games from the older consoles, so that 2008 copy of Metal Gear Solid 4 will remain on your shelf until the world goes cold. That's some cold shit, dog. You have to say it to me like that. I feel like that part of the post was aimed just at me. This is the case for the PlayStation 5 as well. PlayStation boss Jim Ryan confirmed to Famitsu on September the 17th that the shiny new console won't play PS3, PS2, or PlayStation games. We keep in mind that the engineering specialist for the PlayStation 5 as we produce the device. Ryan told the Japanese gaming magazine, in the midst of all that, the PlayStation 4 already has 100 million players. We thought they ought to want to play PS4 titles on the PS5 as well, indeed. So we included compatibility with the PlayStation 4. So basically, the only reason it's even going one generation back in reverse compatibility is because the PlayStation 4 broke all the records and sold 100 million fucking consoles. So damn. But I guess that does make sense business-wise, though. While implementing that, we also focus our efforts on taking a high-speed SSD and a new controller DualSense at the same time. So unfortunately, we couldn't reach the implementation of such capabilities. However, there are a few ways to access old games on PlayStation 4. There's a selection of PlayStation 2 classics you can buy on the PlayStation Network, and Sony's $9.99 a month PS Now streaming service lets you access a massive library of PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 games, along with the rotated selection of PlayStation 4 titles. Those can be downloaded to your console, and these games are playable on the PlayStation 5. So that's about the closest you could get to going to reverse compatibility. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to access the massive library of original PlayStation Portable, or PlayStation Vita games without tracking down the old hardware or a mini console. Its competitor doesn't have a long history, but more of Microsoft's back catalog will be playable on its next generation consoles. Now, time to switch gears and talk about Xbox X and Xbox S. Microsoft has been more ambitious about backward compatibility. The Xbox X, which is $4.99, and the Xbox S, which is only $2.99 retail, that's before tax, which launched Tuesday on the 10th, play original Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One games. That's 4 generations of games stretching back to the first console's 2001 launch. Now, I will say, as an OG PlayStation player, that is one up already that they do have on us. Because as a PlayStation lover, I would love to go back and play like the original fucking Tomb Raider and all that shit, man. But hey, that's how the game goes. No pun intended. But it doesn't include literally everything. Microsoft has a comprehensive list of the games that play on its new consoles. 568 games from the Xbox 360 and only 39 games from the original Xbox library are currently backward compatible, and titles that require its defunct Kinect motion sensor won't work at all. Old games get a visual boost on the Xbox X and S by way of high dynamic range graphics. After 500,000 plus hours of testing, we're excited to share that the Xbox 360 and Xbox One games playable on Xbox One today, except for the handful that require Kinect, will be available and look and play better on Xbox Series X and S at launch. Jason Ronald, Xbox Director of Program Management, tweeted that on October the 28th. The new console's hardware may also reduce game loading times and increase frame rates. It also offers the quick resume feature. When it comes to saving transfers, this is incredibly straightforward because Microsoft's Smart Delivery System lets you transfer save files from any Xbox Series compatible game. As was the case with our current backward compatible titles, you won't have to worry about losing any progress either. The company said in a June 15 blog post, thanks to our commitment to compatibility across generations, you could be assured that when you purchase a game on Xbox One today, your game library, a progression, and the entire gaming legacy moves forward with you if you jump into the next generation with Xbox Series X. If you still got saves for 360 games and you want access, you can transfer to the Xbox X by uploading it to the cloud. You can't use this method to transfer saves from the original Xbox games to the Xbox X, so you have to start with Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic playthrough from scratch. They got jokes up in this bitch. Maximizing your Xbox library requires, Microsoft has also got a subscription service, $10 a month Xbox Game Pass. That'll get you access to a rotating library of older games. New Xbox exclusive also at launch on the service. So you'll get Halo Infinite and other upcoming games the day they become available. The $15 Game Pass Ultimate option will also get you access to Microsoft X Cloud gaming streaming service from September the 15th. Unlike the PlayStation 5, you'll have plenty of controller options no matter what generation of games you're playing. The Series X and Series S controllers are compatible with Xbox One games, the Xbox One console itself, and PCs. You can also use your Xbox One controller on your X and S. So there you have it, all of the new details as far as the reverse compatibility go, because a lot of that wasn't covered when we talked about it on the Nerd Station 5 episode earlier this year. So, yeah, man, that's all we have for today's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly, guys. Thanks for tuning in and nerding out once again. And if you guys have the brand new console, either the Xbox X or S, or the brand new PlayStation 5, man, feel free to hit us up in the comment section or in the review section, depending on what podcasting platform you're checking us out on, man. As always, like I said, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in and nerding out. And we will see you guys next week. My name is Space. I was here, but now I'm